Well, PJ Hyatt in that green Orica you saw yesterday absolutely blitzed the field. Will he do the same again here in our Legends of Endurance? And what a field we've got. Audis, Porsches, Salines, BMWs, Audis, all out there.
And flagged away by the honoree, Scott Pruett. He was on the flag station, and I can see him from here, and he's obviously very happy at his efforts.
Yeah, and the regular flaggers are getting a hug, and obviously what a thrill for them to have a legend, quite literally, of the sport from California, achieved so much, and really this is his era. And as I again emphasize, great idea by the organizers to do this by driver, to associate an era with an American driver or innovator.
It was a big departure this year. We've always sort of described groups by cars. This year we decided to honor these drivers with a group name, and I think it's really worked. Some of the drivers have made it, some unfortunately haven't, and some are no longer with us, but we honor them nevertheless, and their families have agreed to us using their name and honoring them in this way.
The timing of the Parnelli Jones obviously could not have been better to June 4th, I think it was, just down the road, passing away and dying of natural causes at 90. We miss him already, the great Parnelli Jones.
Absolutely, what a legend.
So the legends, here comes that Audi. Travis Engen at the wheel, another legend. And that car, well, you only have to walk up to that car to see who drove it and where it raced. It is, without doubt, the most race Audi R8, I think, in the world.
Without doubt, one of few in private hands as well, and what a pleasure to see it racing here. Travis, a long-time supporter of the event, always here, always fun, and supporting us with bringing a fantastic car.
Lauren Beck's there in the 996 RSR from 2004. And it raced for the Flying Lizard team, that number 145 that just went through shop, between 2004 and 2006.
A prolific team, Flying Lizard, and we always enjoy having them here with their unique paint schemes and their
they were the original, weren't they, at putting something really wacky on the side and everybody going, wow, that's the Flying Lizard.
Unbelievable. My friend owned a Troy Lee painted car, and you reckon the paint's worth more than the car.
Good luck. So what has startled you this weekend? There's always got to be something that you probably heard was coming, but then you thought, wow, there it is. It's
just a smorgasbord, isn't it? It's too much. I find it so difficult to decide which of all the cars I would like to drive. Someone asked me the other day, and I'm just sort of blindsided by it. I really don't know. I'd like the pick of a car in every grid for sure, but it takes some thinking about because there's so much choice.
Yeah, and I love the spirit of the event that continues to this day. Ricky Taylor currently second at the moment, a current driver, remember. Just showed up yesterday. He'd never driven the car. The first lap he did in the car was the first lap he'd ever done in the car.
That's typical of what happens here. It's a little bit weird, but I think we're unique in that respect.
Yeah.
And what a car as well, that Acura Honda. Not a car we're used to seeing in Europe, but they've had so much success and continue to do so in America.
Max Moritz in the 17, the 997 RSR just ahead. In 7th place, ahead of Beggs. Lopez now up to 6th. Pappas now 5th. Travis Engen, who we've seen. Scott Durnick out there. He's been in the booth with me earlier in the weekend. Hopefully get him back again. And number 66, Taylor. Ricky Taylor, as we just talked about, chasing down one of his peers in PJ Hare.
PJ, what a guy, PJ. I mean, a team owner. Some of you will be familiar with the WEC and the IMSA series where he races Rexy, the 911, and Spike, the LMP2 car. What a supporter and what a driver. He's put on a great show for us here this weekend.
Yeah, no kidding. And he wasn't holding back yesterday, that's for sure, in the mean green machine, the Orica FLM 09.
And he's got some stiff competition today. I think Ricky Taylor's on it, and Scott, who hadn't enjoyed too much reliability, has suddenly got his car going, and they're all pressing hard.
Good. So what about the organising of the event? I mean, I want to overemphasize, this is a year-long project. This is something you throw together, come June. This is something that really is in the making, starting tomorrow.
Yeah, basically, we have a short breather now. We'll review the success of the weekend, and we'll also have to look at the areas we'd like to improve. And as we said yesterday, it's a new era for the track, with friends of Laguna Seca taking control. We've got a clear plan now, and we've got the opportunity for investment to improve things further.
Yeah, that's the main thing. Corey Friedman in the 14. 993.
Yeah, this grid is always going to be dominated by Porsches.
Yeah.
Their custom of GT programs. This is a new grid for us. We're trying to bring a younger car here to see if we can attract a younger audience. This year was a bit of an experiment, but we've got quite a nice mix of cars. There's the Ferrari 458 blasting up the hill.
Well, you've got the CEO of IMSA here this weekend, so I guess that's a good guy to attract.
Yeah, John Doonan's always here.
But he's a friend of Laguna, has been for many years.
Yes, I served with him on the committee here for many years. What a guy! Lives and breathes motorsport, and IMSA couldn't have a better person in charge. Frankly, he's amazing.
Yeah, when I think of Tony Perella, John Doonson, of course, Roger Penske, you know, we really do have some capable hands at the helm of running the different categories of motorsport here in the States.
Yeah, and starting to see that nationally.
Yeah.
With the LMDH program at Le Mans, seeing more IMSA involvement there. We had the Garage 56 car in 2023, that monstrous NASCAR. So, yeah, the sport is in good hands here.
Well, talk about current drivers. He's not quite current, but Tanzan Bell is not here at the moment, but he did take part earlier in the weekend, and his car, 23 with Jeff Siegel at the wheel, is running in 10th position. Townsend, on the other hand, has joined Lee Diffie and the team at the IndyCar race, but he was here yesterday. We interviewed him, and again, somebody absolutely backing historic racing.
Hopefully in this group, now we put a marker down, we'll start to see some GT1 cars out there that were the fantastic, for me, those cars were a fantastic part of that era, 96, 98, 99, the Mercedes, the Porsche GT1, the McLaren. It would be wonderful if we could attract some owners to this group in future years and expand it further.
Well, there's certainly a lot of cars out there, isn't there? I mean, they've all been looked after very well. I mean, you think the Masters, the Riley Scotts, the Master Riley RX-8 out there, GT Grand Am. And you've got so many series, Grand Am, ALMS, to choose from to get these eras of endurance cars.
Yes, we have. But you know, we need to attract the owner's attention. There's a lot more cars out there, and to get a more varied field. This is a great field. It's very colourful. They make the right noise, and they're generally very, very well driven, in capable hands of their drivers and owners.
Quick glimpse there of the 93 of Christopher Frank in the GT3R, number 93, and there's the 56 of Thomas Blasinski in the M3.
What a great car as well.
I know, great. Classic colours, BMW colours with the M on the top. Can't miss it.
BMW, another long-term supporter of this event, back this year with some great cars from their collection.
Yeah, you could almost do a documentary on just Porsche and BMW's growth in America and how it began, how the dealers did it, how the interest started, why they chose to come here, how they got the march on the other marques, how the other marques followed, how the Japanese then came, you know, and so on and so forth.
It's incredible what they achieved, but they could never ignore the American market.
No.
The car sales here, the enthusiasm for cars, the number of cars they sell, and therefore racing was the way to crack that market and demonstrate their products in front of what was then a more partisan audience. Americans would tend to buy American cars. That's no longer the case.
I lived in Asia for many years, in Hong Kong, and I was amazed at how many Mercedes I would see. And when I look back about how they went racing in Southeast Asia, around the streets of Singapore or in Malaysia or, of course, at Macau, they would import these Mercedes over, and just like Australia and New Zealand, they would leave them there after the race and sell them to a local. And so that proliferated, and then suddenly the dealership started growing up because the parts were needed and so on. So Mercedes certainly learnt their lesson. They did it here, but they certainly did it in Southeast Asia. They absolutely dominated.
Porsche too. In the 70s, with all the Brumos cars and the Penske cars would come over, do the races, and they'd invoice them $1, and the car would stay here and be sold on to a private owner.
Yeah.
While we've been talking, we've missed Taylor taking the lead.
Oh, he has, yes. We didn't see it, but Ricky Taylor now leads this race in his Acura ARX. And of course, he's a factory driver, so he has to have something that fits him.
Yeah, and here he comes, up to 5. We have Acura here this weekend in the paddock suites, and later on you're going to see a spectacular 1960s Formula One Honda.
Ah, is Takuma going to drive it?
I don't believe so. It's one of the Japanese drivers who's going to drive it today.
Okay, fair enough. Well, he is a Japanese driver, but I know what you mean.
Yes, sorry. one of Honda's engineers. Sorry,
I'm being rude.
No, you're
I'd
right.
love to see Takuma here though, because he's a great character and a huge Honda aficionado. Yeah, I read an article about him the other day saying he loves looking back at what he could possibly drive. Oh yeah, we got a race on. Blue flags are waving. Here comes PJ.
Yeah, Ricky's pulled out a little bit of a lead in the traffic, using the traffic well.
Yeah, about 3 seconds at the moment between Ricky Taylor leading this race and PJ Hyatt. And there is Hyatt in the 99, the Orica. He had a great day yesterday. He rolled around this circuit.
He certainly did.
4 race wins back in 2010 in IMSA. Team championship winner.
Nice to see that he's
Whoa.
noted a bit of a moment on the curve there. He's obviously pushing hard, trying to close that gap to Ricky. Oh, someone had a spin behind him.
Tell you what, they're all pushing on, aren't
Yeah, they are indeed.
they? I love that paint scheme though, it's great. What? That was the 93 that went round.
He's stuck. Oh,
Christopher Frank.
Oh dear.
To be frank, you're in a mess.
Yeah. That's going to bring a flag, I'm
Yeah,
sure,
I'm afraid.
in that position. That is a shame.
Yeah, you could tell by the wheel spin that he was just going deeper. So, oh well.
Occupational hazard, I'm afraid.
That's exactly it. It's better than having it's better than having oil on the track, that's for sure.
Yeah, we've had a bit this weekend, which is something we try to mitigate, and avoid, but not always possible. There we go, full course yellow.
Yeah. Ricky will be real pleased with that.
They're doing a quick pull, get him out of the way.
Good.
Something unique to America. We don't do this in Europe. Most European racers would be horrified at the prospect, but
yeah, I tell you, you're right. I'm often surprised when I see it, but when it is that simple, and everybody knows what's going on, and everybody's aware of it,
it works. I've never seen an incident in all the years I've been here. Quite funny yesterday, though, talking to Jensen Button, because our flagging here is slightly different. So in Europe, if there's a red flag, you immediately stop racing, and you drive back to the paddock and wait for further instruction very slowly. Here, you obviously don't brake very suddenly, but the instruction is that you slow down, you stop, hopefully in sight of a marshal's post, and that is completely an alien concept to someone who races in Europe. So, and the black flag is basically the red flag where you go back to the paddock. So Jensen was, let's say, questioning the
the rules.
The rules, yes.
Well, I think it was David Hinton that told me he did a one-on-one because Jensen wasn't here early. He didn't go to the driver's briefing, so he did a one-on-one.
Yeah, we have to do that occasionally with some of our celebrities who have lots of other commitments on the peninsula and obviously in demand. Oh, we've just gone green again. So Ricky's,
here we go.
PJ closer, and the Riley and Scott now. But I think that he can't be lapped, surely.
No, I don't think so. Is that Dernick in second?
No, Dernick is in third. So there's PJ gone to second, giving chase to Ricky. Now their tyres will be a bit colder than they were.
Well, we've certainly got a race on now. Now, how quickly can Taylor pull away, I wonder? Well, you can see it from above. He's certainly gapping him quickly.
So that's Richard Pruett in the
Yes.
Riley and Scott. And let's have a look. Well done, in 11. So he was
lap, yeah.
interesting. He was moving through the pack quite quickly.
And he's a great driver. You know, he does Formula One, doesn't he?
Yeah.
In fact, he's got 2 or 3 groups, I think he's in.
And a McLaren Can-Am car as well. So he's not shy of powerful, fast racing cars. That's for sure.
Now here come your leaders then in our celebration of Scott Pruett and the legends of endurance racing here at the Rolex Reunion 24 as we celebrate half a century of racing.
It's funny really talking about the more modern cars. I was talking to a chap in the paddock yesterday, Don Davis, who was here in 74 with a GT40. If you think about it, in 74, a GT40 was only, you know, it wasn't that old a car.
No.
But it was here, our first classic race on the peninsula.
Yeah, amazing.
Taylor pulling away again.
Absolutely glorious. A feast of historic motor racing revving your way throughout the day. It doesn't get much better. And they've been doing this style since 1974. And hats off to those that have taken a part over the years in making it happen and keeping it going, more importantly. Longevity is the hardest part. It's all very well to put it on one year and have everybody celebrate, but to do it year in and year out, that's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, and you can't say enough about the volunteers here. We rely on them very heavily. It's another thing that Friends of Laguna Seca are anxious to improve on further and reward our volunteers and get them up where they should be in numbers. Interestingly, we had some marshals here yesterday, mostly marshals that I recognised from Goodwood, and they were expressing an interest in coming over.
Oh, that's great. Checkered flag is out then, and Taylor did the business. And, well, PJ got a win yesterday, so Ricky's got one this time. And he comes over the line in second place, and I think Scott Dernick is going to come across the line just ahead of Travis Engard in third place.
That's a good effort by Scott. Very good effort.
Very good
driving
indeed.
that well.
Yeah, he's going to come up in the booth later. Well done, Ricky.
And he can talk.
Yes, he can. Yeah, no, he was great. He came up a couple of times yesterday. It was great.
He's a great guy. He's very knowledgeable, actually. Very knowledgeable.
So that concludes our Group 7 here at the reunion. And the day's starting to brighten up here. We'll take a short break. We'll be back with more from the 24.